Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. Now, independent filmmakers and entertainers don't make much money, but they do what they do out of the love for the craft. Once you get into the big business model, however, what you gain in financial security, you often lose in creative freedom. Victor Salva wasn't blind to this, though, and knew well that if Jeepers Creepers were to be successful, the studio would demand a sequel and demand it fast. That's actually why he put the rule in the first that the creature only shows up every 23 years, because he knew the studio wouldn't want to make a sequel set so far apart from the events in the first. Francis Ford Coppola, however, had other plans. The executive producer of Jeepers Creepers, he found a loophole in the rule. If the creature appears every 23rd spring for 23 days, then set the sequel during the same 23-day period as the first! But as Victor was still on board for the sequel, he decided to specifically set it during the final days of said cycle. You could argue that he should have just refused to write it, but most likely A, it was good money for him, and B, they would have just brought in another writer to run his baby into the ground, so before we knew it, Jeepers Creepers 2 was being made. Set on the same highway, the tone and pacing of this film are extremely different from the first, with only one sparse environment for the main events, the creeper displaying Freddy Krueger-esque humor, and a man tracking down and hunting it as a subplot. But hey, I'll still give it a shot. Let's buckle in and... Wait, school buses still don't have seatbelts, do they? We open to a very terse message from Victor, hammering into us yet again that anything that happens after this won't be for a damn long time. Let me write something else! Of course, Poho County has to be located in whatever state resides in Australia, as all the corn are ready for harvest this spring. We see Billy setting up scarecrows while his father punches some posts.
Really? You been messing with the post puncher?
I know life on a farm can be pretty lonely for a kid going through puberty, but there's probably much better choices of stuff you could be messing with. But the dog senses trouble.
Yeah, go on, Mac. Go bite him in the ass for me, Mackie boy.
Are you implying that if the dog doesn't, you're gonna bite Billy in the ass? But it turns out that the creeper is hanging out on one of the posts. Wait a minute, we've barely even started this movie. Well, this is a sequel to Jeepers Creepers, so I doubt they're just going to resort to a pointless shock death for the opening. Okay, come on, one of the things I like best about the original Jeepers Creepers is it was paced slow enough that you were actually drawn into the scene. Which, while common in older horror films, was all but lost by the end of the 20th century. And changing up the formula like this doesn't keep it fresh when it changes it to be just like every other fucking horror movie released in the last 15 years. And this provides our segue to meet up with the focus of this film, a school bus just full of teenagers to kill. Because we've never seen a group of teens die in any horror movie recently made. But it gets worse. This bus actually is carrying a school basketball team. So you know how you have your archetypal teenage horror characters? Well, in this film, you have two. Jock and cheerleader. But hey, they are a little varied, such as racist white guy back here, and important black guy, as whenever racist white guy goes off, it's only at him. The gay but not gay guy.
You know what the story is on your scars there, right?
No, tell me.
Got into a fight when you snuck into a bar.
So?
A gay bar, bro.
And team manager for the one and only nerd presence we get.
Jock straps?
Oh, you think you can manage the team, super genius?
Wait, why do they need a pseudo-manager? Whatever. And your cheerleaders, who are summed up as follows. Girlfriend, psychic, and the black one. And I hate summing her up that way, but this movie shoves race in your face, so that's what I end up remembering her as. Well, we're at least on the road, so I know I'll get to see an awesome duel between the creeper's truck and the school bus any minute now.
Shit.
Not a blowout. about. But it turns out that the Creeper has been carving ninja stars between movies. Oh, his very impressive array of traditional bladed weapons? Never seen again. Bone ninja stars. And back on the farm, they find another weapon, and while still not the same as the old ones, this one does at least look a bit more believable to me. Never mind. Oh, yeah, just so you know, no other weapon in this movie can do that. Oh, and this weapon never does that again either. What was the point of that scene then, you ask? Cheap jump scare. That's it. But it galvanizes the farmer to take action, and pound together some weapons to go after the creature. This movie already told us we're on day 23. There's not exactly that much time for him to be throwing together makeshift siege weapons. Oh, and he also somehow finds the time to fix the defective post puncher to use as a weapon as well. Fuck, I gotta hire this guy to edit my videos. So, driving on the flat, they continue into the night.
What did I play today? 12 minutes?
Well, it was a great 12 minutes.
Hannah's got it in for me. Him and his little token white boy Barnes. I don't know. Maybe I got the wrong skin color to get equal play on this team.
Oh yeah. The unjust plight of the white man. How he's just cast aside on the basketball court. Oh, the tragedy. Hey jackass, there's this movie called Glory Road. You should see it. But we are given a break from the incomprehensible racial tension to see that Cygirl is having her first vision. Oh, no, not just in this movie. Ever. She wasn't psychic before this, she just is now. The dead characters of this movie and the last try to tell her something, but unfortunately they are in silent slow motion, so she can't make it out. We then see the Creeper running along at about 70 miles per hour and... where is his car? I know, in the first one I said it really didn't make sense that a monster be driving, but by now it's an established character trait and it's just missing. But in losing his own traits, he takes on the traits of some obscure characters I can't quite think of, and causes the other tire to pop from within Cygirl's dream. I give up. At this point, the authority figures decree they'll all have to exit the bus and set up warning signals. Now what could possibly go wrong with standing out in the open and bringing attention to yourselves?
Sit down!
Okay, know what you're thinking. Students take control of the bus, drive off until they reach the destination this film has set for the movie to take place in, and then it breaks down completely or what have you. Nope, they're already at their main setting. They never think to drive away. Now, I might accept that if it was explained that the driver had the keys and the kids were just too stupid to hotwire it, but no, they just decided it's not good to drive on the rim.
You got to move this piece of shit!
On what, the rim?
Can you drive this thing or not?
We wouldn't get 2 feet, man. What do you want me to do?
Self-preservation? Who needs it? Ugh. We've got more important matters to deal with, like having pointless prejudices being shoved down our throats.
Wanna play cock of the walk, bro? You wanna call me something else, Scotty? Cause I don't think you get, I can see you thinking it.
Okay, hear me out. Racism is bad. But this is not how to be progressive in filmmaking. Having racial prejudices shoved down our throats only works to reinforce them. Like the black cheerleader. Honestly, her character is completely transparent. She could be any race or even not be in this movie at all. It would be just the same. But because of scenes like this, I end up thinking of her as the black one. Alien vs. Predator dealt with race a lot better. For example, the lead character Lex was black. But they never paraded that in front of us, and she was written as a survivalist, not the black one. So, although I could have made a joke about it making sense that a predator would have jungle fever, I didn't think to because I wasn't seeing Lex as a color, I was seeing her simply as a person. But old Creepy is the voice of equality, showing that no matter what sex, race, or creed, he will eat you. Somehow able to smell them all through the thick, sealed windows. Fuck, it's not the worst thing this movie does. He then picks out which ones he's interested in eating and which ones he'd rather not. Okay, the monster in the first movie was cool funny. This is silly funny. Kinda like... Cygirl can't handle the lack of exposition and faints. Leading us to another vision, with Justin Long explaining to us something already explained in this movie.
Every 23rd spring for 23 days, it gets to eat.
Eat what?
Eat us.
Hold on a second. Why have I never seen that movie clip used as a YouTube poop? Looks to me like it would be pretty good for that. Hell, I'll do a couple right now.
Every 23rd spring for 23 days, it gets to eat.
Eat what?
Dinner.
Eat what?
Need an octorock.
Eat what?
Lots of spaghetti.
Waking from her vision, she delivers exposition that she didn't even receive.
It can smell something in people, in their fear, something that helps it pick people out.
You were waving pom-poms at people this morning. Now all of a sudden you're a psychic hotline?
I don't know! You want to explain it to me because I can't!
She's not psychic, she just read ahead in the script. Well, Farmer Ratchet is out on the prowl when he manages to pick up the radio transmission from the school bus.
What's trying to kill you? What are you talking about?
Just tell me, are you the fucking cops?
Look, now listen to me. I'll call them right now. But what you've got to do is hang on. Can you do that? Hang on. Keep headed east.
And why doesn't he bother to call the cops? Is everyone in this movie an asshole? So everyone is ecstatic to hear that help is on the way, but Creeper decides he's pretty hungry now. However, Girlfriend has a pointy stick. Now, I have to admit, the effects in this movie are worlds better than the ones in the original, but it spends so long showing them off, it's still easy to spot how fake they look. After that degradation, the monster dive bombs the bus, blowing out all the windows. The kids try to escape the bus, but can't figure out that when all the windows are busted, you don't need to open the fucking doors to leave! Just climb out a goddamn window! And they are split up when a wing slips down into the bus, so naturally, all of them need to be on one side to attempt to open the door. Climb out the fucking windows! But Jock, with too few character traits for me to remember, decides to be an asshole.
This thing's like a fucking piece of toilet paper.
From this, we learn that pulling a head off the body results in a very clean, straight cut, and that the human body can flail around for several seconds after decapitation. Okay then, they finally get a door open and run out into the open to escape the beast. This goes about as well as expected, but uh-oh, the one kid that stayed behind won't open the door. Climb in the fucking windows! So the kids all rush out into a field, over a dozen of them who we'll never see again. Oh, I don't know if the creeper gets him or not. We just never see him again. They just disappear from the movie. Oh, look! He got... him. But he's not satisfied, continuing to attack the children until he manages to catch white power. Black Hero to the rescue, though, showing that no matter what color you are, the horror fuck you can get you just the same. Psy Girl runs along, and it looks as if the massive group of kids has already vanished, but the farmer arrives and asks her if he missed the climax yet.
How far up ahead?
Back at the bus, Stephen Gates figures out he can get back in through one of the holes in the roof. Funny, looking at him, you'd think he'd know how to use windows. And then... Oh, crap, I'm sorry, I must have hit the wrong... Wait a minute. This isn't actually earlier in the movie, they just replayed the same attack on the same character. This movie doesn't exactly try new things, did they really run out of fucking ideas? But the farmer shows up in the nick of time, activating the slow motion camera to line up his shot. For some reason, he seems to think the idea of reeling the creeper in like a fish is even a remotely good idea. I hope he was going for catch and release as the tables quickly turn. I have to admit, I do like the action sequences used here, but what kills it for me is the fact that I don't give a flying fuck about a single one of the characters in this scene. Oh, who am I kidding? This movie! His fight ends poorly, and we are given a segue to the last 3 surviving characters it actually bothers to acknowledge. Girlfriend, important black guy, and gay guy.
That's the truck that passed us this morning. Remember with the big bug on top of it?
You think we can just drive away in it?
No, but I think I know how to hotwire a truck. That's how I got my bar fight. I was trying to steal somebody's truck.
Yeah, but the bus, oh no, it had a flat.
Oh my God, the keys are in it.
Then what was the point of that line? Oh, wait. You're establishing that he is not gay. Just a carjacker. A much more wholesome individual. The fuck movie! Homosexuality is not a disease or a problem. Having it as yet another issue shoved in our faces earlier, only to be cast aside here, makes it come off that, oh, now you can like him. He's not gay. Guess what, movie? That plan backfired! Creepmaster flies overhead, though, and they all load in to try to escape. And again, to be honest, I really like the way this scene is cut. The effects on the creature during this chase have to be the best in the film, and the perspectives used really help add a sense of speed and excitement. Of course, I'm rooting for the monster here, but that's just me. Slamming on the brakes, the truck inexplicably flips forward, doing tons of damage to the creeper, but hardly doing much in comparison to the other characters. Despite his setbacks, the creeper pursues by... I don't even need a joke for that image! It pins important black guy, intent on making sure the final battle is as drawn out as possible. A harpoon later, and we see that... Wait, wasn't his gun and truck destroyed earlier? How did he just manage to... You know what? Never mind. He built these from scratch in an afternoon. He probably just got some Wrigley's and patched them up. So heading in, he continues to stab the undead hell out of it until it stops squirming.
Looks dead to me.
What, so they beat it? Oh, come on! One of the scariest aspects of the original Jeepers Creepers is the fact that they couldn't beat it. They couldn't outsmart it. They couldn't do anything but run from it. It was in control of the situation. Beating it just devalues that on so many levels, it's not funny. As the film closes, we see the now aged farmer watching over the corpse of the creature.
You waiting for something?
About 3 more days. Give or take a day or 2.
Yep. So remember, if you're going to make a sequel to this one, it's got to take place after these events. Got it? So that was Jeepers Creepers 2, the movie that taught us the best way to make a sequel to a unique, stylized horror film is to make it as bland and predictable as possible. The setup of this movie is your old dark house, but this house in question is a tiny school bus that never moves. So you don't get any kind of exploration at all, which sickens me when the last one was a sort of road trip of horror with several interesting locations to keep you invested. The creature in this one is a real mixed bag. I can forgive the changed weapons as a character evolution, but the sillier humor reeks of Krueger, and I honestly miss the big-ass truck. The effects are a lot better this time around, but that means the minimalistic approach the last movie gave us is all but forgotten with the way this film is shot. The biggest problem I have with this film are its characters, or should I say, lack thereof. They're just a jumbled assortment of archetypes that behave nothing like actual people, which is a shame because in the first, while you could say that Trish and Derry weren't the most likable people to watch for 90 minutes, they did act more like real, believable people, and you were able to get attached to them. In this one, I root for the monster more often than not simply because I can't stand the entire cast of characters. So, overall, this movie is so much worse than the first one, I was ready to dump it to 1 Raven out of 5. But, in hindsight, there were a couple action sequences that I did enjoy, albeit briefly, and this movie's biggest crime isn't so much being bad as being generic and predictable. So, I guess it ekes out 2 Ravens out of 5. There are worse films out there, it's just this one is so disappointing compared to the first Jeepers Creepers. Oh well, at least I know after that travesty, there's no way this one did nearly as well as the first. Oh. Well, never mind. The critical reviews certainly shot down any idea that there would ever be a Jeepers Creepers 3. Son of a...
Children, have you ever met the bogeyman before? No, of course you haven't, for you're much too good, I'm sure. Don't you be afraid of him if he should visit you. He's a great big coward, so I'll tell you what to do. Hush, 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 here comes the bogeyman. Don't let him come too close to you, he'll catch you if he can. Just pretend that you're a crocodile, and you will find that bogeyman will run away a mile. Say shoo shoo and stick him with a pin. Bogeyman will very nearly jump out of his skin. Say buzz buzz, just like the wasp that stings. Bogeyman will think you are an elephant with wings. Hush, hush, hush.
Back on the bus, ladies.